In today's video, we will be taking a look into the integumentary system and specifically one of the most common forms of cancer called melanoma. The skin is the largest organ in the body and covers the body's entire surface. It mainly serves as the body's initial barrier against UV light, chemicals, mechanical injury, and protects against pathogens. It also regulates body temperature and the amount of water released into the environment. It is made up of 3 layers, the epidermis, dermis, and the hypodermis, all of them having different functions and anatomy. The epidermis layer is the outermost layer of the skin and provides a waterproof barrier and creates our skin tone. The dermis contains tough connective tissue, hair follicles, and sweat glands. The deeper subcutaneous tissue, also called the hypodermis, is made of fat and connective tissue. In today's video, we will be focusing on the epidermis, which is the outermost layer of the skin. The epidermis is made up of 5 layers. From the deepest to the most superficial layers, they are the stratum basale, stratum spinosum, stratum granulosum, stratum lucidum, and stratum corneum. Some main cells found in the epidermis include keratinocytes, which produce keratin, a protein key to the structure of the skin, and are responsible for secreting lipids which keep the skin dry and prevent water from evaporating out the skin. Melanocytes produce melanin and are responsible for the pigment of the skin. Skin cancer is currently the most common form of cancer in the United States, with more than 2 million cases diagnosed in 2010.
While less common than many other forms of skin cancer, melanoma is the most serious type and often has significant metastatic potential, meaning that when undiagnosed, it can rapidly spread to other parts of the body and become far more devastating. It develops when the melanocytes, which are one of the pigment-producing cells in your skin, mutate and grow out of control. With early intervention, the survival rate is 99% over 5 years, but melanoma is often diagnosed at a later stage when treatment is more difficult. Melanoma is often grouped into 3 main categories to cover the wide variety of places in which it can develop: cutaneous, which refers to melanoma of the skin; ocular, which refers to melanoma of the eye; and mucosal, which refers to melanoma of the mucous membranes, like on the inside of your mouth. Most people, when they picture melanoma, are thinking of cutaneous melanoma, which is what covers the oddly developed moles and patches of skin that are often seen in pictures and graphics of the disease. Cutaneous melanoma can be further broken down into 4 types depending on the character of the lesion and how fast it spreads to other parts of the body: superficial spreading, nodular, lentigo-maligna, and acrolentiginous, all of which vary in severity and speed of disease development. On the side of the slide, you can see pictures of the 4 types and that they clearly vary in the appearance of the disease. All 4 of these types of melanoma are typically characterized by the initial presentation of an atypical mole or discolored patch of skin on the body. These discolored regions or moles result from the cancerous melanocytes clustering and growing in patches. Typically, the mnemonic that is given to remember what to look for if you're doing your own skin checks is A, B, C, D, E. A for asymmetry, B for border, C for color, D for diameter or dark, and E for evolving. Early melanomas are often asymmetric spots with uneven borders, multiple colors such as dark brown, black, or dark blue, wider than 1/4 inch, and grow or evolve rapidly on the body. Later stages of melanoma may result in more systemic symptoms such as fatigue, swollen lymph nodes, weight loss, or others.
The top risk factor for melanoma is exposure to UV light from the sun or indoor tanning beds. They can occur as a result of sunburns or excessive exposure over time. It is also possible for melanomas to develop on areas of the skin which are not exposed to sunlight, but that is rare and the cause is not yet fully understood. Risk for melanoma also increases with age. Superficial spreading melanomas are also more common among people with paler skin than darker skin, in part because they tend to sunburn more easily. People with many freckles and moles may also be predisposed to melanomas. In particular, moles with an unusually large shape, irregular shape, poorly defined edges, variation in color and texture pose higher risk. Furthermore, personal or family history of melanoma can greatly increase risk. For example, the cyclin-dependent kinase inhibitor 2A gene, also known as CDKN2A, codes for tumor suppressant proteins, and mutations to this gene and similar genes can be inherited and result in an increased risk of developing melanoma. With early diagnosis, melanomas can be cured with relatively successful outcomes in terms of preserving the appearance of the skin and preventing remission. Treatment typically entails surgery to remove the melanoma. In the case of metastasis or spreading to other parts of the body, especially internal organs or lymph nodes, chemotherapy, radiation, or immunotherapy may also be necessary. Being aware of personal history or family history and being mindful to limit UV exposure can greatly aid in prevention. This includes staying in the shade when outdoors, wearing sunscreen and sun protective clothing. When choosing a sunscreen, it is important to use one that is broad spectrum with at least an SPF of 30. Genetic mutations like the CDKN2A mutation can also be tested for in the case of family history. It is also a good idea to be alert to any suspicious changes to the skin, such as new moles or changes in appearance to existing moles. In summary, the skin is a crucial structure of the human body which serves many important functions. We can be vigilant in protecting our skin by performing skin checks and maintaining proper sun care. We hope this video helped you to review the function and structures of skin, as well as to understand more about melanoma. Thanks for watching, guys.